Last night's NXT was a good show, as always. We got the return of Cameron Grimes. Karrion Kross versus Escobar confirmed for next week's NXT. Shotzi, Blackheart, and Moon moving on to the Dusty Rhodes Finals to take on Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. The winner will have an opportunity to challenge Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team Champions at WrestleMania 37, I think. Or maybe at Elimination Chamber. One of them. One of the two. Finn Balor, Pete Dunne comes face to face one last time ahead of their NXT Championship match at this Sunday's TakeOver. NXT TakeOver Vengeance. And we got WWE continue to build up Xia Li's heel character, which she is doing a fantastic job with her character. So we got WWE continuing to build up her character. And we got the young Grizzled veterans moving on to the Dusty Rhodes Finals to take on MSK. And so much more, folks. We're going to go over it all right here on my Ingram Wrestling News YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ingram Wrestling News' very own Brandon Ingram, here live with your February the 10th, 2021 NXT review. As of right now, I have no NXT news, so if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on Twitter at Ingram Wrestling. Help me get up to 1 million followers on there. If you can, please, thank you. If you would like to give me a follow on Twitter, you can. Do so, please. That would be lovely. Also, give me a follow on Twitch, too. That would be lovely as well. I need some more followers on there. As you can see, you know how many followers I got to those of you that have me followed on there. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications so you won't miss my Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Xenoverse 2, and Naruto Old Dominion Storm 4 content on the channel. So you won't also miss my Dragon Ball FighterZ content. That's also on the channel. So also you won't miss my Ingram Wrestling News content as well. I'm still going to be dropping some Ingram Wrestling News videos probably this weekend. I don't know what video I have in mind that I'm going to do yet, but you'll find out. You'll find out when it gets published to YouTube. So, Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get to the review. So, NXT opens up with the young team of MSK making their way to the ring, which means we're kicking things off. They were kicking things off with Dusty Cup action. Hopefully I got it right for you all that's watching. So, anyways, MSK versus Legado del Fantasma. They start this highly anticipated semi-final bout with Wiz Lee and Joaquin Wild. So Lee moves to lock up, but Wild dodges him and laughs. So Wild asks for a test of strength, but takes a wrist lock instead and gets Lee down. Lee fights up but gets hit with a takeover and Wild taunts him. Wild takes Lee down and wraps him in a STF, but Wiz counters with an arm lock. Joaquin Wild rolls free but gets whipped to the corner. Nash Carter tags in and teams with Lee to hit a dropkick Bronco Buster for a 1 count. So then Carter applies a front face lock and Wild takes his wrist, but Carter uses some impressive athletics to break free. Rael Mendoza tags in and takes a headlock on Carter. Both men attempt arm drags at the same time, then struggle for control with reversals. Lee tags in and dodges Mendoza before teaming with Carter for a flurry of kicks. Rael flings Lee into the buckles and tags Wild so they can hit repeated body splashes in the corner with quick tags. Fantasma then hit an incredible double team move and Wild lands an assisted springboard moonsault after kicking out of a pin. Lee dodges both men and tags Carter, who comes in hot against Mendoza. Carter runs but gets tossed overhead and lands on the apron. Wild gets a tag and jumps off the back of Mendoza to dropkick Carter off the apron and into the barricade as we head to the commercial break. Back live. Carter does a matrix slide to avoid a flying kick from Rael. And Lee gets the tag. Wiz drops Mendoza with axe handles and a dropkick that knocks him out of the ring. Wild runs in, but Lee throws him over the ropes onto Mendoza. Carter goes on the apron and does a backflip for Lee to shove him onto Wild and Mendoza. Lee then hits the ropes and dives onto Wild and Mendoza with a tope. Lee gets Mendoza back inside for a near fall, but Wild pulls him from the ring. Fantasma throws Carter into the steel girder by the ramp. Then Mendoza hits a springboard dropkick to Lee in the ring. Wild hits an insane reverse Hurricane Rana to Lee, and Mendoza hits a spinning neckbreaker for a near fall. Thanks to Carter, Mendoza lifts Carter onto his shoulders, and Wild springboards off of Carter on Rael's shoulders. It's a 450 to Lee. Wiz rolls up Wild and Mendoza slams Carter onto them to break the pin. Wild holds Lee and Rael hits the ropes, but Carter trips him and drags him out of the ring. Wild runs to intercept but gets super kicked from Lee. Carter comes back in, and MSK hit their spinebuster, blockbuster finisher for the win, and that was it. So NXT teased that MSK's challengers were either going to be the team of Tommaso, Ciampa, and Thatcher, or the young Grizzled veterans. So MSK advances to the Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals, the men's Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals. Now, I'm sure myself and everybody else in the community was hoping for a beautiful conflict between Mexican Lucha League. This achieved, basically. So, they started off slow and calculated with technical exchanges and nods to the cultural influence behind each performer. So, as the match picked up pace, we got to see more of the aerial ability of both teams, and I think that was really good. That was really good in this match. I think that played a huge part in this match. Their abilities, you know, and how the way they move in the ring, the way these teams move in the ring, you know, the way they team together, you know. But I really hope MSK gets some promo package time on social media and on Sunday's pay-per-view to build their characters slightly, but in ring perfect since debuting. So that's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about MSK. So we have our first finalist for the 2021 Dusty Rhodes Classic Tag Team in the form of MSK. As I said, in the open, they will either be taking on young Grizzled veterans or Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa later that night. That's what the commentator said. That's what they teased. So we see a video of Mercedes Martinez talking about how long it has taken her to get to this point and why the NXT Women's Champion means so much to her. So we got a little squash match going on between Xia Li and Cora Jade. Now, this was a good squash match for Xia Li, I gotta admit. I really gotta admit. And the credit goes to WWE for building up her character so much. And now it seems like they're continuing to build it up. They're continuing to make her look like this monster, to make her look like this dominant force in the women's division. So anyway, Xia Li versus Cora Jade. We got Kacy Catanzaro and Kayden Carter appearing at ringside, and apparently they're concerned about Xia. So Cora attacks Xia from behind, but immediately turns around and drops her. So Lee slams Jade in the ropes, then lifts her and hits the wicked spin kick to the chest for the win. So after that, Kayden and Kacy get on the apron and try to talk to Xia, but she ignores them. Boa tries to get Kacy off of the apron as Kayden walks up the ramp and berates Tin Shaw, asking who she is and what she has done to Xia. Lee grabs Kayden from behind and throws her off the stage. Then Lee begs for forgiveness from Tin. Boa tries to play Mediator, but Tin grabs him by the throat while Xia attacks Kacy. Xia and Boa pose beside Tin. I really like this, man. These segments and these presentations are going to divide fans, honestly. It's cinematic. Presented like an action film with a hint of horror and mystery. Now, this is perfect for everybody's style of wrestling fan, I'm sure. But however, these more favorable of an older style will complain that this is not wrestling but a movie being made, perhaps. Now, honestly, I don't think, regardless of your stand, anyone can deny that this is a massive improvement in the Xia Li character. WWE is doing a fantastic job with Xia Li, and they continue to build her up to be as this most dominant monster in the entire women's division. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen. I'm interested to see what's next in this Xia and Boa storyline. I am, because this has everybody invested. That is the only reason why NXT. That's the only reason why the fans are tuning in, watching NXT, because of this Boa and Xia Li storyline. I think that's the only reason why NXT's viewership's been going up a little bit lately. Not only because of the Xia Li and Boa storyline, because of some of the other things on the shows lately. But anyways, William Regal stopped outside of his office, but he says he doesn't have time for an interview. He opens the door and Scarlett is sitting on Regal's desk. He asks what she wants and she says she's there because he shows up. It won't be good. Time is up for Santos Escobar next week. Regal likes the idea and grants the match. Commercial break. The Way comes to the ring with Gargano in a wheelchair. Austin Theory has to carry Gargano into the ring. Johnny says his injuries are a result of Kushida last week. He was just minding his own business, trying not to get an interviewer fired when Kushida broke his arm. And we see a replay of the attack, and Gargano says he has 4 fractures as a result. He's a lefty who power walks, so it's as bad as it gets. While he's saying this, Johnny is gesturing with the broken arm. He says the worst part is that he can't defend his North American Championship against Kushida on Sunday. Regal appears on the stage after prompts from Gargano to suspend Kushida. Regal says Gargano is wasting time and he knows the WWE medical team cleared Johnny to wrestle. Gargano is offended and says he has his own doctors who have provided an x-ray of the bone, or x-ray of the broken arm. Regal asks for the name of the bone that's broken. Oh, well, I was right. I did say bone. Well, I said bone the first time. I guess I was right. But Johnny can't answer it. He says he's Johnny Wrestling, not Johnny Doctor. Regal says he's not stupid. That's a right arm x-ray, and someone else's name is on it. So Gargano argues his innocence, but Regal says there are 2 options. Theory can take his place, and the match tonight could be for the North American Championship, or Johnny can forfeit the title right now. Gargano says no way. He can rehab for a few months and come back. Kushida appears in the ring behind the Way and listens to Regal, who asks him what he thinks of the idea. Kushida punches Theory, tries to take the title from Gargano, who jumps up and holds on to it. So Kushida points at the arm, and Johnny faints injury. So Kushida punches him into the wheelchair. And that was pretty much it for that segment. So the opening Gargano exchange was genuinely... Now the match that followed was very strong with the correct outcome and solid storytelling throughout. Finally, the match needed stakes added to the tournament finals. Hopefully Raquel and, But yeah, the opening Gargano exchange was generally comic. That's all I got to say for now, folks. It was genius, perfectly executed by all involved. It really was. Seriously. I am very glad. Honestly, folks, I'm very glad that we are still getting Kushida versus Gargano, as it has all the tools to be a takeover classic. And in many ways, a dream match. All of you that's watching, don't you agree with me? Don't you agree that Johnny Gargano versus Kushida happens to be 100% potentially a dream match? When you agree? Now, Loomis' involvement concerns me, as I would quite like to see Kushida leave with the North American title. However, this would indicate Gargano facing Loomis for the belt, which is less attractive to anyone. But I think Loomis deserves another North American title opportunity. I mean, he's doing the best work of his career with his character. I think Dexter Loomis also deserves to be North American champion. Both Kushida and Dexter Loomis deserves to be North American champion. Could we get a Loomis versus Kushida perhaps when Kushida becomes the new North American Championship? Will Kushida's title defense be against Loomis if Kushida becomes North American Championship? We don't know that. We don't know yet. But we'll certainly find out. We'll certainly find out if Kushida can beat Johnny Gargano this Sunday at NXT TakeOver Vengeance. We'll see, man. So we got Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus The Way. The Women's Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Semifinal. So they're back live from commercial break, and the match is underway with Ember Moon and Candice LeRae. Shotzi tags in and teams with Ember to hit a sliding trip and a senton. Shotzi and Moon continue to make use of quick tags to isolate Candice, but Indi does get the tag and hits Blackheart with a slam onto the buckles and a sidewalk slam for a 2 count. Indi stomps Shotzi down in the corner and scores a 1 count. Candice tags back in and pulls the hair off Shotzi before slamming her down with it. LeRae applies a wrist lock. Shotzi fights up, but Candice hits a snapmare and goes back to the wrist lock. Hartwell paces Candice. It's legal again. She goes to the wrist lock. Again. Blackheart retaliates and lands some forearms, but gets dropped by LeRae for a 2 count. Moon gets tagged and clotheslines Candice before hitting a step-up enziguri and dropkick. Indi tags in and gets dropped with a right hand. Blackheart tags in and hits a net breaker, followed by a top rope cold breaker from Moon and a slam from Shotzi for a near fall. Shotzi hangs over the ropes backwards, choking Indi with her legs. Then Ember rolls her up for 2. Man, my reading's starting to get better. I think that nap must have did me really good, that nap I got earlier yesterday. Holy shit, because I'm reading. I'm doing a hell of a good job this fucking reading shit. Anyways, Candice and Shotzi fight on the floor, but Indi drop toe holds Moon. LeRae hits a springboard Hurricane Rana to Moon on the apron. And Moon dumps Indi over the ropes to the floor. Moon crawls to Shotzi and makes the tag as LeRae tags in. Tags in on the other side. Moon takes Candice down and punches her. Then hits a facebuster and a running senton to LeRae on the middle rope. So then Moon tags back in and teams with Blackheart. But Indi breaks the pin and tosses Shotzi out of the ring. Blackheart gets the tag and hangs Moon on the middle rope so Candice can hit a springboard moonsault. So then Candice hits a sloppy suicide dive as Indi covers Ember for a near fall. Hartwell tags LeRae and whips her at Moon, but Ember dodges them. Moon gets to Shotzi for the tag. Blackheart hits Indi with an enziguri, but LeRae kicks her in the gut and tags Hartwell. Candice hits the Wicked Stepsister, and Indi hits a double stomp for a near fall thanks to Moon. Shotzi hits a Shining Wizard in the corner and goes right to a DDT. Shotzi kicks LeRae back. Ember catches her with the Eclipse, then Hartwell lays on Candice as Shotzi hits both with a senton from the top rope. Shotzi pins Indi for the win. Obviously, Indi protected Candice LeRae. She sacrificed herself for her best friend, Candice LeRae. I don't know if y'all saw that. Anyways. Finally, folks. Finally. A much needed stakes added to the tournament finals. Now, hopefully, Raquel and Dakota Kai win the finals and can get those belts on WWE NXT where they can be used to elevate the incredible stacked women's division and turn free uptime on Raw's limited women's division, because Raw's not doing shit with the women's tag team titles. I said it before. I said it on my NXT reviews last year, and I'm saying it again. The titles need to go to NXT and get redesigned and be known as the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. That's the way to go about it, in my opinion. I don't think they need to be burnt just yet. At first I did, but now come to think of it, the idea of them titles going to NXT, I think is a great idea. Because they'll be used on there. They will be useful on there. I mean, you do have a women's tag team division too. I mean, on that brand. Obviously. And you know, good thing about it is we can start seeing some NXT women's tag team division feuds, you know. So it'd be great. I think it'd be great. I think it'll work out. WWE's just got to do it right. So, Blackheart and Moon have progressed to the finals, of course. I already said that. Where they will face Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa are sitting backstage. Thatcher says, last week they went to war with the Undisputed Era. It was rough, brutal, the way they like it. Ciampa says they would face the Grizzled Young Veterans and they're going to work them over. Then move on to Sunday and win the whole damn thing. Commercial break. Santos Escobar is backstage for an interview. He says he isn't worried about Karrion Kross. He was foolish enough to give him the gift of time. Joaquin Wilde and Rael Mendoza walk in. Ed started apologizing, but Escobar tells them not to. Never apologize. Escobar tells them to instead prove themselves by paying someone a visit and making sure he doesn't make it to next week. We see a video hyping the upcoming match between Finn Balor and Pete Dunne. So then we got Kushida versus Austin Theory. I wonder if some of the low spectrum of the community are out here calling Austin Theory a pedophile. I wonder if they're still calling him a pedophile. I wonder if the IWC community is still calling him that or not. Are they? More than likely. Gotta be, folks. I mean, if they're out here calling Austin Theory a pedophile, then Who else do you think they're calling a pedophile? I'll tell you who else. It happens to be Mr. Ow! Pedophile Dream. Known as Velveteen Dream. Anyway. So, Kushida versus Austin Theory. The bell rings on this one. And we didn't get entrances for either man. Kushida storms Theory and backs him into the corner. Kushida beats on Theory, but suddenly Johnny Gargano appears on the apron and distracts Kushida, allowing Austin to shove him off and hit a picture-perfect dropkick. Theory beats on Kushida, whips him to the corner, but runs into a boot. Theory counters a hip toss and talks trash, but Kushida hits a judo toss and a rolling dropkick. Kushida targets the arm of Theory and slams it. Kushida pulls Theory's arm back and stomps on his shoulder blades. Theory starts to fight back, but Kushida catches him with a kitchen sink knee and ties Austin up like a pretzel. Ooh. Man. Theory powers him to the ropes, but Kushida kicks him in the arm a few times, then wrenches it. Theory throws Kushida to the apron, then knocks him off with a forearm. And they got a commercial break again. Back Life in Theory is holding Kushida down with submission. Kushida fights up, but gets hit with a sidewalk slam. Theory lands a suplex for a 2 count, and he's beginning to get arrogant. Now, Theory mounts Kushida and lands some big right hands, but Theory continues the assault and batters Kushida, but gets rolled up for 2. Kushida hits an inverted atomic drop, then catches Theory with a springboard elbow. You know what I mean by springboard elbow. Springboard back elbow. That's what I mean. Kushida with a STO into the buckles. Then a German suplex and a kick to the face for 2. Kushida rips his shirt off and gets fired up. He stands on the back of Austin and pulls the sore arm before snapping it over his own shoulder 3 times. Theory rolls out to regroup with Gargano, and Kushida tries to kick him from the apron, but Theory drops him. Theory lifts Kushida into a powerbomb position, but Kushida turns it into an armbar on the apron, only for Gargano to super kick Kushida. And that gives Kushida the win by disqualification. Now, I am very glad that we are still getting Kushida versus Gargano, as it has all the tools to be TakeOver Classic, and in many ways a dream match, which I could have sworn I said that earlier in the review. The Loomis involvement concerns me, as I would quite like to see Kushida leave with the NA title. However, this would indicate Gargano facing Loomis for the belt, which is less attractive to me. Now, Theory Gargano, having miraculously recovered, beat on Kushida at ringside. Theory tells Gargano he should use a chair to break Kushida's arm, and Johnny loves it. Theory is suddenly dragged under the ring, and Gargano tries to pull him out, but it's actually Dexter Loomis he pulled out. Gargano screams and hightails it out the ramp as Loomis watches on. I love Loomis' character. He is still doing the best work of his career with his character, and he continues to do so in a big way. My God, man. Dexter Loomis definitely has the potential to being the next main event star and to being the next North American champion. He even has the potential to be the next NXT champion if he stays in NXT longer. He doesn't need no main roster call-up yet. Man, bad as these SmackDown and Raw men's and women's rosters look, oh no, he doesn't need to get called up. No, he doesn't. He needs to stay on NXT. You don't want to get in that mixed crowd of the men and women's WWE Raw and SmackDown roster. Oh no. You don't want to get in that crowd. So, Theory crawls out and runs into the ring to get away from Loomis, but Kushida gets him in a hoverboard lock. Gargano runs down and pulls Kushida off, but he gets pulled in the hoverboard lock. Loomis comes in and gets Theory in the Anaconda Vice at the same time, I guess. Kushida holds the North American Championship while Loomis holds Theory's head. We see a video of Toni Storm talking about her year and that she's been biding her time, waiting to win the NXT Women's Championship. She beat Io Shirai before, and nobody talks about that. But they will after Sunday. Sunday on, it's Tony time. Commercial break. We're back live. Joaquin Wilde and Rael Mendoza are laying down backstage, one under a ladder and the other on a production crate. Karrion Kross appears and says Escobar is behind saving. He is beyond saving. Next week he gets ended TikTok. For Finn Balor, shouldn't he be feuding with Finn Balor? But wait. But then again, Finn Balor is feuding with Pete Dunne. So I guess it makes sense to keep him in the feud with Escobar, to give him something to do, until Finn Balor's feud is finished with Pete Dunne. So here's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing Finn Balor is going to retain over Pete Dunne, and then we're going to get the Kross and Balor feud. I think that's the way WWE is going about it, in my opinion. I don't know if you all think of that, but that's my opinion on that. So, anyways, the camera cuts backstage and a white Lamborghini drives up. Out steps Cameron Grimes in a brown suit and starts handing out money to everyone. He passes on his way to the ring. Grimes says he is back, baby. And it's been 2 months since Timothy Thatcher laid him out. So he went home and planned out his revenge on Thatcher in his downtown. He found video games and they're pretty cool. He wondered why he wrestled when he could just play video games, but he ran out of games. So he went to GameStop and he should put his money in a fine establishment like that. And it turns out he was in the right place at the right time because the GameStop stock went to the moon. Grimes has so much money he doesn't know what to do with it. Well, he loves dogs and he found the currency called Doggy Coin. And he invested in some of that. And it exploded so much that he's richer than Elon Musk. I don't know who the fuck that is. Anyways, Cameron Grimes loses his mind and rips his jacket off. He's so rich that no one, Royal Ringo included, can tell him what to do. Ringo can kiss his grits if he thinks he's gonna wrestle Dexter Lumis, zombies, or anyone else. Money is power and he has so much it's hilarious. Grimes throws a bunch of money and rolls around in it. Okay, I'll admit. Even though I'm not a fan of Cameron Grimes, this segment was incredible. Not bad. The repackaged slight was done fantastically unexpected, and the on-the-nose references to Doggy Coin and GameStop Reddit, that was fantastic too. Not every performer needs a main event gimmick, and Cameron Grimes regularly proves as an entertainer he is unraveled, even though I'm still not a fan of him. Anyways. And his accent's still terrible too. Yeah, Anyways. Now, Mackenzie interviews Gargano backstage, and he calls her stupid. Oh man, that's not nice. That's just disrespectful, Gargano. Man, you're better than that. Come on, you're a man. You're a grown man. Come on, man. That's fucked up. You can't do that. You can't call her that. Well, that's something I need to be calling these fucking so-called trolls on social media. Oh, speaking of trolls, I did a video. And that video, remember that video you saw on social media on Twitter? Yeah, it's all over social media. It's on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. That video, a video of the hacker, of the hacker face, that was me. That was me. The video of that hacker, that was me. I tweeted the video with a comment, "This is the trolls right here." Man, that is fun. I did that video so funny that I got a few impressions on it, man. Don't be surprised if I look at the video again and I get a lot of impressions by tomorrow. But the fact that Gargano calls McKenzie stupid, that's just straight up mean. Come on, man. I mean, obviously Gargano's a heel, so he's acting like a heel. I mean, he's obviously not going to call her that in real life. I mean, he was told to do this. This was written and produced. These shows are written and produced every week. He says this Sunday he faces Kushida, and he sees it as an opportunity to remind the world that he is Johnny freaking Takeover. Kushida better bring his absolute best if he wants to take that title. Ooh. You hear that, Kushida? Uh-oh. Sounds like Johnny Gargano's not happy about what you did to his arm. The Grizzled Young Veterans, my favorite tag team in the NXT Tag Team division, make their way to the ring for the main event. I think they're going to win this whole thing, in my opinion. They're going to beat MSK and win the tournament. MSK is not going to win. They're going to lose. They're going to lose, and after that, after they lose, I'm predicting that WWE is going to continue building up their character. Probably going to book them in a few squash matches to build them up, to see how they are. Probably going to book them in a segment to where they cut promos about the tag team division, something such and such and such. But I think the Grizzled Young Veterans are going to win this tournament. No doubt. They are my pick. They have been my pick since this tournament started. Young Grizzled Veterans versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. This was like an old school tag team match to me. I mean, old as these guys were in the ring. Seriously. So we got the Grizzled Young Veterans. Before the Grizzled Young Veterans can even get to the ring, of course, this was no surprise here. Thatcher and Ciampa attacked them on the ramp as they're cutting a promo. Drake and Gibson are beat down by the barricade. Then Drake is thrown over it. Ciampa gets on the apron as Thatcher gets Gibson inside, and the referee starts the match. Gibson tries to fight. He tries to fight back, but Thatcher smothers him with offense. Ciampa tags in and beats Gibson down and tags Thatcher for a knee to the ribs and a wrist lock. Drake is back on the apron and tries to rally his partner. Yes, he did. He tried to rally his partner. Thatcher whips Gibson into the corner, but Drake jumps across the buckles to save his partner. Drake then tags in and punches Thatcher and lands a short arm clothesline. Drake backs Thatcher into his corner and tags Gibson, but Thatcher drops both men with European uppercuts. Thatcher looks to tag Ciampa, but Drake pulls Ciampa off of the apron and slams him into the steel steps. Now Thatcher gets back into the corner, and the veterans hit a flurry of double team moves. Then they leave the ring and double team powerbomb Ciampa on the apron. It goes to commercial break. It was the final commercial break of last night's NXT. Back from the final break of the night, Drake and Thatcher were trading right hands. Thatcher catches him with belly to belly, and both are down. Thatcher wants a tag, but Ciampa is still down on the floor. Gibson tags in and hits a back suplex for a 2 count, then transitions into a wrist lock. Thatcher gets isolated in the corner of the veterans, but he counters a double team move by catching Drake with a European uppercut. Ciampa appears on the apron and gets the tag. Psycho Killer comes in fast and furious with clotheslines to both Drake and Gibson, and a flying clothesline to both. Ciampa with a German suplex to both men, and he scores a near fall on James Drake. Ciampa chops Drake and looks for the fairy tale ending, but Drake blocks it. Gibson tags himself in and batters Ciampa in the corner. Then both men hockey fight in the middle of the ring. Gibson hits a chop to the throat, followed by a twisting neck breaker. Tag made to Drake, and he jumps off the back of Ciampa to drop kick Thatcher off the apron. Gibson gets Ciampa on his shoulders, and Drake hits a flying clothesline for a near fall. Not quite doomsday, but Thatcher runs in, but Gibson throws him right back out and goes after him. Thatcher slams Gibson hard, but Drake whips him out with a suicide dive. Ciampa attempts Willow's belt to Drake, but Gibson prevents it, and the veterans hit TikTok to Mayhem for the win. And that's it. The Liverpool Tandem have progressed to the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic for the second year in a row. They will face MSK the Sunday to crown the champions. The champions are going to be the grizzled young veterans. Spoiler alert. These guys deserve it, man. These guys are my favorite tag team. They absolutely deserve it. I mean, they're former NXT UK tag team champions, for fuck's sakes. If you are not going to have young grizzled veterans win this championship tournament, that would be one of the worst decisions ever. I'm sorry. That would be one of the worst decisions ever to have MSK win that tournament. MSK are just now starting. Have them lose the tournament and build them up. I think that's the way to go about it. Let the young grizzled veterans win this tournament. Win the whole thing. These guys deserve it, man. They absolutely deserve it. I mean, they technically been in NXT longer than MSK. I mean, MSK just debuted, like, when? Last month or so? Really? Just give the championship trophies to the grizzled veterans. Seriously. Now, this wasn't a too bad. This match wasn't really that bad. I mean, if you look at it from perspective, honestly, the grizzled young veterans did the most work in the ring. But fantastic match between Ciampa and Thatcher and grizzled young veterans. But I can't help to say that a lot of us thought that Ciampa and Thatcher were going to be in the finals. They didn't need to be. Honestly. They gave us the test to see what their team is going to be like. And it worked. It worked. Well, folks, this is the end of your February the 10th, 2021 NXT review. If you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up, man. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. The thumbs up and the thumbs down always helps the channel, the live stream, helps me out, and it always helps my videos out as well. So, got a few announcements before I get on out of here. I don't have to check the chat because I don't see any comments in the chat, so. That's good. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get the announcements on out the way here. Gotta find my outro music here. Gotta find my where is it? There it is. There it is. Found it. Loading. Alright. Hit my music now. There we go. See how that worked? Oh man, that was awesome. Okay, so I got a few announcements before I get out of here. Number one, my AEW review, my AEW Dynamite review, it might be live, might not. I'm not sure. If it doesn't go live this afternoon, if I don't go live with it this afternoon, if I make a decision and say no AEW Dynamite review, then that means my AEW Dynamite review will be live next week, for next week. So, of course, my SmackDown review will be live this Friday night. Right after my WWE SmackDown live stream, I'll be live, you know, giving you my SmackDown live reaction. You know, hanging out with you guys in the chat while I'm live watching SmackDown. Now, I expect everybody to be there for my WWE SmackDown live stream now. Everybody that's subscribed to my channel. Because you know I'm going to want to chat with you guys. I barely get to hear from my subscribers that subscribe to my channel, so. Anyways, SmackDown review will be live this Friday night. And I think I have an England Wrestling News video dropping this Saturday. I think I do. Also, I will be streaming some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, I think, when I come home from work. Maybe. I don't know. But I know I'm streaming Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Friday afternoon. I know that. And I'm probably going to release another Dragon Ball FighterZ video. You know, showing you the instructions on, you know, how to play it. And what buttons you got to push to do certain combos and certain basic controls and all that stuff. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm getting out of here, folks. You all have a good Thursday. I actually got to come in to work today. I was told I have to come in because my job's shorthanded, so another working day. But it'll be alright. I mean, I'm actually glad that I'm gonna be working today because that means the more I work, more money. More work, more money. So I ain't complaining. I'm actually glad my boss wants me to come in this Thursday. So, but folks, have a good day. I'm getting out of here. Peace. Be sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed this live stream. Have a good day. See you on my